from me with the Backwoodsman Institute, and today we're going to be talking about the compound bow. It's going to be a good one. What we're going to do today is I'm going to tell you how I got my bow set up, the kind of equipment I got on my bow, the kind of equipment I think you should have on your compound bow. And then I'm going to talk about the basics of your stance, the different positions you can shoot, talk about how I go about shooting my ranges, how I got them set up, and then we're going to talk about how to get into the woods after that and effectively engage, anything that you want to inside the woods, whatever game you're going to be hunting, as your path will lead to you. So that's what we're going to be talking about today here in a little bit. I'm just going to go over my gear and we'll get in the woods, get some trigger time. So just stay with me and I'll catch you in a bit. Okay guys, what I got here is a compound bow. Obviously there's a few different types of classifications to a compound bow. Right here, as you can see, this oblong piece of steel, and this side right here I got just a circular piece. This is called a wheel and this is called a cam. So this bow right here I got is classified as a single cam. There's different classifications like a hybrid cam or a double cam, a dual cam, whatever have you, but this is a single cam. It's basically the most basic level of a compound bow that we have. My bow that I got right here is a Martin. It's a Martin Big Cat. I bought it from Dick's Sporting Goods for about $200, which, yeah, $200 is expensive, but in the spectrum of compound bows, it's not really. So it's a Martin Big Cat. Like I said, prior in my life, I've owned PSE. They're also good bows, but this Martin by far has surpassed any bow that I've ever owned prior. So next thing I want to talk about here is my sights. What I got here, I got 3 pins. As you can see, I'll get a little closer for you. I got 3 pins, red, green, yellow. This is a True Ghost sight. So what it means is 3 pins is, in my opinion, I got 3 pins because in my opinion, all I shoot out to while I'm hunting is about 40 yards. So all I need is pins that can get me to 40 yards while I'm hunting. There are sights that go out that have like 7 pins. You can set them out for however far you want, whatever indications that you want. But what I recommend is stay in with the basics, get a 3-pin because they're cheap. This was like $20, and like I said, I only go out to 40 yards if I'm going to be hunting, so that's all I need. On the side of my sights I got right here, I got an arrow quiver that is attached to my bow, and it holds 5 arrows. And one thing with quivers, you want to make sure that you can protect your broadheads or your field points, whatever, are encased. Make sure your tips are encased because 1, it'll protect you, and 2, it'll keep your blade sharp. There's different types of quivers that you can have. You can have quiver on your back, quiver on your hip, whatever. A quiver is just something that holds your arrows, alright? But make sure it protects something. My father was hunting in his younger years, and he put in his arrows in his back quiver upside down on accident, just in a rush of things. When he was in the woods, he reached back to grab an arrow, and he grabbed it, but he grabbed the blade, and when he pulled out, it cut the middle of his hand wide open. So he had to cut the hunt short, head back to the woods, beat feet, to stop the bleeding. So cut his hunt short. So learn from that. Make sure your stuff is protected, and you need something to hold your arrows. Make sure they hold them securely as well. On my string here I got a peep sight, just like this. It's inside the string, as you can see. What that does is it acts as a rear sight to my front sights. Alright, you can have it set up any way. You don't even have to have a peep sight. All you have to do is look at your front sight. But I'm an avid rifle shooter, as I said, and this peep sight right here acts as a rear sight for my front sights. I also have a kisser button set up. Kisser button is basically just a piece of plastic that when you pull your bow back, you hook it into the corner of your mouth, just so you can find your anchor point every time. I also have a loop set on my string. I don't clamp my arrow or my release to my string. I have a little loop that I clamp it to, and I pull it back. So another thing I got on my string is silencers, little vibration reducers. There's many different types of these. There's some called spiders or whiskers. You just tie them onto your string. You don't have to go inside your string to do it. just tie them on, cut them, and then when you shoot, it'll just take noise, reduce the noise, and take away some vibrations. My arrow rest that I got right here, it's called a whisker biscuit. It was like 20 bucks, and this arrow rest right here is by far, in my opinion, the best arrow rest that you can get, especially for the type of hunting that I do. I like to be on the ground, stalking my prey, and why I think it's the best is because it has all-around security, all-around hold on your arrow. Right? So if I'm walking through to the brush and I have to tip my bow to whatever side, it's not coming off. See how it stays on there? It's not going to fall off, and I have to make noise. I have to put it back on. So that's one reason that I like it. There are different arrow rests you can get. Some of them are just a hook, just like this. You set your arrow on and you shoot right through it, and that's all they are. But in my opinion, this is by far the best arrow rest to buy. And like I said, it was pretty cheap. It's about 20 bucks. This quiver is like 10 bucks. These sides about 20 as well. Compound bows, you have to add all this stuff to a compound bow, or you can buy it in a kit. Like I said, I bought this bow right here, bare bow, so I had to buy all my pieces, my essential pieces to go onto it. Another thing I got right here is just a braided. It's kind of like a hand sling, just extra support for your bow in case your grip fails, or you're in a tree stand and somehow you lose grip, and it's just going to keep your bow on your wrist. And right in front of that, I got a stabilizer. It's about a 6-inch stabilizer, and what that stabilizer does is you can get some that reduce vibration. This one isn't really for that, but what they do is when you're pulling your bow back, see how I already have it like tilted back? That's just natural for it to do that, so it's going to creep up. What that stabilizer does when it's all the way back is balance it out, so you can keep it all centered, all in line. That's what a stabilizer is for. So you need a stabilizer. Like I said, there's so many different types you can get. Just shop around. This one was pretty cheap. It was probably about 12 bucks. But that's what I got here. On my wrist, you've seen it. This is called a release. It's a true ball. There's nothing real fancy to it. This is pretty cheap. There are many different types of releases though. This one works just like a trigger. Like I said, I'm an avid rifle shooter, so I like the feel of a trigger. You just pull back and we're just going to release your string. They have some that are inverted, where if you pull back, it closes. When you let off the string, off the release, it's going to open up the mechanism so your arrow release go out. There are also some that just stay inside your hand. It doesn't strap to your wrist. This just straps to my wrist just like that. There's some that stay in your hand, and when you pull back, you put your hand on the side of your cheek, and then you squeeze, and it's going to release. Like I said, you can shop around for releases. You don't even need a release. You can shoot fingers. You can pull these bows back. You pull bow back with your fingers, just like you would a recurve. And if you don't want to shoot your bare fingers, you can have a glove. We have videos on recurves, and we have videos on shooting fingers. So there's all whole different types of ways you can shoot this. But how I got it set up, I got a release. This is a straight pull, just like a trigger.